everybody, Dana Litwin here again, and welcome back to Tuesday Tips for Leaders of Volunteers. Today, continuing the theme from last week on creating a recruitment campaign to get more volunteers or donors or just community engagement, and really dialing in on what are the 10 steps to a successful marketing campaign. And you might be a department of one and you have to do all of this by yourself. You really don't have to do it by yourself. You can get volunteers to help you. Or you can use this information and this language and some of the jargon that I go over to more effectively coordinate and collaborate with your organization's marketing, PR, external affairs department. So hopefully you have a relationship with that person if you're not doing all the work yourself, and these quick Tuesday tips can help you with that. When you think about a marketing campaign, it needs time to sink in. So creating the timeline is an important part of that. We'll talk about that a little more in a second. But you not just want it to sink in, but repetition of a marketing phrase, a recruitment message is really key to sinking into the audience that you're hoping to attract. And if you're going to the same traditional volunteer talent pool with the same phrases, like, of course, doing the same thing over and over again won't get you results. If you're having trouble with recruitment of volunteers specifically, think about these marketing terms as across a timeline and tie them into specific volunteer requirements, needs of the role, seasonal events, seasonal volunteer activities. This ties in hopefully with not just getting episodic corporate groups and converting them to regular volunteers. I did a video about that you can check out. But really just repetition in the community, hearing a positive message about joining your team. Never say need, don't motivate with fear or guilt, but motivate with hope and empowerment. So kind of action verbs around that. But if you think about a marketing timeline, think about it as, is this message going to start 3 months ahead of when we need something, 3 weeks ahead of when we need something, or 3 days? 3 days, even in social media, where there's, short attention spans and high turnover, 3 days is pretty quick to get some results of something, but depending on where you're advertising, what your communication channels are, that might be enough. But typically you want to think about weeks or months ahead of time. And again, work with, if you have marketing, external affairs, PR professionals, other departments to collaborate with, or volunteer projects that are specific to other departments in your organization, whatever part of the sector you're in, whatever your mission is. So close collaboration is really key to this, whether you're doing the campaign yourself or working with your organization's marketing team. So you need at least 7 repetitions of something to sink in. Some people in some studies push that to 14. In social media, some people push that to at least 21. But think about at least the people that you're aiming to recruit, hear and see your message at least 7 times where they are online and in real life, in a feed, with a radio ad. I've got another video on how to do a free radio ad here. But kind of identify where folks are that you would like to potentially invite to be in your volunteer talent pool. So that is part of setting a purpose and a goal for your campaign. We would like to reach these people with these language skills in these zip codes or from these areas in town or in our state to participate. We want to invite local people because these are in-person things. We can expand our campaign because it's an online or remote opportunity. So kind of define that first. Set the purpose and goal for the campaign, not just we need more warm bodies. It has to be much more specific than that. Establish how you'll measure your campaigns, and that depends on which channel you're on. If you're doing online, Instagram, social media type ads, then that might be measured in clicks and shares and likes. If you're wanting to drive people to your website volunteering page, make sure that that information is accurate and all the online forms work, things like that. But driving people to a web page is going to look different than only having them share stuff on social media. So ideally you have that kind of balance and focus in mind. And then defining your target audience is part of like knowing where to find people. If you're finding people of a younger age group, then that's going to be more intensely advertised online or with text burst messages, things like that, to current volunteers to remind them to bring friends and family. Understanding then the concept for your campaign with the target audience, with the advertisement recruitment channels you're going to use, and get in contact again. Is there another team or department within your organization that works with that component of the community more often, or the work of this campaign is directly tied into what that department wants to accomplish with volunteers in the next 3 months, 6 months, year, or there's certain roles or shifts that are chronically understaffed, under-resourced, and other shifts maybe that have more flexibility of schedule that are over-resourced or waiting list, and can kind of understanding those parameters. Choosing the channels, again, Facebook, are we still using that? It's the algorithm's not super effective for getting in front of eyeballs, and that skews an older Gen X or older demographic. Twitter's a dumpster fire, but if you're using Blue Sky or Spoutable or Mastodon or some of these other social networks that are still a little more siloed and a community isn't built up, make sure that you're getting to the hashtags with the best community of people or talent pool that you want to recruit from. And again, that timeline. So are you doing this over a course of a few months, a few weeks, a few days, pretty short notice, but might be possible? And then ensure that your campaign is driving folks towards that destination that I talked about at first. Is it, and if it's not a destination online, it's a desired action. So sticky messages in marketing, sticky messages, which I have another Tuesday tip about, are memorable, understandable, and easily repeatable or easily thought of. And you can think of this as like hashtag trash challenge, or join our team, or cuddle penguins at the zoo, like whatever short phrase you can turn into a call to action, and to get people thinking about and resonating with the role. Be specific in the role. Never say, we just need volunteers. That's not effective. Volunteer is not a job title. So make these campaigns either at least specific to the work of your organization, join our team in these ways, and then people can go and check on the different roles. Or if you're having a shortage in certain shifts and roles, make the campaign very specific. And part of deciding on the target audience is, what are the schedule of the people that's necessary? Is it people who are doing part-time work? Have there been a lot of tech layoffs in your area recently in a big city that maybe there's more people looking to fill their time by volunteering in certain neighborhoods or certain zip codes? So from all of that, and designing that call to action and what you want people to do, maybe it's no more complicated than click on our volunteer website. But if you really want to draw people in, establish what those success numbers and metrics look like over that time frame. 3 days kind of tough, but you can say, oh, we've got a 50% uptick in driving people to our volunteer page. So things like that. And then decide what you're going to do with the data that you get from the campaign. You may learn something very surprising, maybe even pleasant or unpleasant, but don't be afraid of the results you get. If you're not getting results, as I talked about in last week's video, make an adjustment, but it's a fine balance between having enough time, getting in front of enough people, seeing the message, resonating with the message, correct audience to correct message, then just hoping that, well, we're going to throw stuff out there and not measure it and hope it matters. Like, you should have a way with, again, social media tracking, some easy software that a lot of volunteer management system or CRM, email marketing system things kind of have built-in reporting available. So make sure you're utilizing all of those features in the software you're currently using, or sign up for some other helpful, free, low-cost content creation stuff. I know a lot of nonprofits use Canva to create stuff. The one drawback of that is everything starts to look and sound the same. So if you're using a free app or a third-party software platform or website to help put content together and time that out, I highly recommend finding your own images of your own current volunteers and staff doing the work. That's ideal, rather than entirely relying on the same stock photos over and over and over again. So the more it's real and personal to the work, to the role, the job title, the job description, that's really going to help people resonate with the opportunity who are automatically interested in those kinds of things. So if you're looking for a younger generation and you have not yet reached out to local high schools and colleges, that's an easy place to start. If you're looking for people who are working part-time, you can work with neighborhood community centers or job training centers and kind of help incentivize people to add volunteering to their resume as well. But with all of that data that you get from the campaign, be transparent, be honest, have good record keeping with it. Do not contact people who sign up to email for one specific thing about all the other things unless they sign up for that. And again, hopefully a marketing person in your organization knows the laws and the regulation in your state around that. But it's really important to hone in on who you want, where are they, what do they want out of an experience, and how is this volunteer role really creating a positive impact versus someone showing up and feeling like their time is wasted and they're just a warm body. So it can be a simple role or task, it can be a complicated one with a lot of training, but the marketing and the messaging around it is going to be key to a successful recruitment plan. And this is just one piece of that recruitment plan that you should create if you're having any trouble with labor shortages around volunteers especially. So I hope you enjoy these Tuesday tips. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please share all of this with your friends and family and peers who might be interested, and we'll see you next time with more from Priceless Advice and Tuesday Tips. Take care.